Have you experienced racism or discrimination here?
Of course, every single day.
It's everyday affair because, for example, I was attacked by a person on the streets of Andiel, or like 2 days before.
I've seen, like with my own eyes.
I can see you can face it in university also.
Compared to when I was in France as a black guy who is French in France.
It's still not living in 2023 if we are talking about racial dynamics or racial standards of the world. It's still kind of a Eastern European country in a typical sense. So they do not have experience living or living with or interacting with a lot of people of color, so which you could clearly see or experience in this city.
In what way did you experience this, for example?
It's everyday affair because, for example, I was attacked by a person on the streets of Andiel in the morning when I was going to work. I had to just a little run away, and this will not happen to any other person. This is purely a hate crime. So, or like 2 days before, I was walking down the metro escalators. It was going down, so I was going fast. So somebody just clicked on the stop button, so I was about to fall down. So these kind of everyday things actually happen here, and it's because these people don't have experience living with any other kind of people of color, I would say.
Yeah.
They get a lot of tourists, but mainly from other parts of Europe, not from outside, and it's mainly tourists. They don't interact much. So living with a person of color, it's still pretty new concept for Prague.
Have you experienced racism or discrimination here?
Of course, every single day. One of the main reasons is the language barrier. Because either they don't want to speak English or their English is not good. Neither my English is good, I don't care. But at least we can communicate and transmit information. So the last example, it was literally half an hour ago. We went to a store to give them money and they didn't want our money because we don't speak the language. Because we are European Union citizens, it's one of the main reasons why they're trying to be a little bit more civil. Because for people that they are not European citizens or outside European Union, whatever, let's say Indians, Hindus, however you want to call them, or Africans or whatever, they literally have them like they are nothing sometimes. So be careful.
Have you ever experienced discrimination because of your nationality?
To be honest, no, I haven't. It's just I have had like a really weird experience with a Czech. I was just like at a party and this guy was drunk, and it was not against basically to Turkish people, but he was just being xenophobic, and he just mentioned about like an attack which happened in Norway, or it was something like that. Maybe it happened in 2011. I'm not sure. There was this Andrei Breivik guy who killed like many people. I think he mentioned that in like a really proud manner. I didn't understand why, and I don't know what it has to do with me anyway. But that's probably the only thing that I have like seen. I mean, people don't really care, I would say, but maybe it would be different if you were Russian, because they certainly hate Russians here, like really a lot because of some historical conflicts. And I don't know, if you are a person of color, then it could be different as well, because I've seen, like with my own eyes, basically there was an old Czech lady, and there was this black girl, and the black girl was just like moving, and the Czech lady was telling something in Czech. Then she just like went closer to her and just like pulled her hair, and she was just like screaming, was saying some stuff, and the girl was saying like, what are you doing with my hair? I was there, but I didn't know what to do. So that's like one thing I saw, but it's because maybe she was over 80, or it felt like that she was really old. But other than that, I didn't really see anything directly to me.
Have you experienced racism and discrimination here in Prague or in Czech Republic?
Yes, 2 times. But I will not say that general because it's already happened only 2 times and really judge people. Because in general, sure, I think I don't know how to say, but I feel less racism here compared to when I was in France as a black guy who is French in France. Few typical things, for example, people when they ask me where I come from, I just mentioned that I come from France and it's okay for them. While in France, people will always ask me, but no, where do you really come from? Which means my origin, even if I'm French. And here no one is doing that. When my first year when I came here, there were some election, I think, and I was walking on the street, and some guys from their car they threw me eggs, and they cry something I didn't really get, but I just understand the at the end. And one day I was in a shop with my son, and there were a whole guy who was following me and wanted to fight with me, but because I didn't speak Czech, I did not really get what he wanted. Uh, um, and then someone Czech came, stopped him, and explained to me that he wanted to fight me because I'm black and I should not be in his country. Otherwise, on day to day, honestly, I feel definitely less racism than in France. Maybe it's because I don't understand Czech, but when I'm walking, talking with guys, I don't feel this. What I will say is it's more that they are surprising sometimes to see you, and it's not in bad way. They are more surprised and ask you where are you over, but not in a bad way.
I heard a lot about this kind of topic. Um, my clients talk about that. Even there are some Facebook group that people write some comments about this. Yeah, I faced a lot of those comments that I was reading the other day, and yeah, from my clients. And also I can see you can face it in university also. I remember we had a professor at the department, and we were 12 students from different countries, some of them from America and Canada, some from Eastern countries. I remember, and other students also admitted that the professor most of the time sit in a way he was talking with the western part of the class, and he put his back to the eastern part of the class. So it is something that maybe you don't expect in an intellectual world that we can call it academia, if so to say. So maybe in university you can face something like that. And yeah, the clients, I heard several times about how in the streets, even when they are walking, maybe some people they show some harsh behavior to them. But I myself, honestly, I never faced, just in that time that I told you about the university.
Do you have an example for this harsh behavior that happened to other people?
Maybe they sometimes I heard that there's some Czech people start talking in Czech in a very like a harsh way, saying some bad words maybe in Czech to them. Just maybe they have a different hair color, they have a different eye color, they have a different skin color. But this is something you can face all around the world these days, specifically, and you can face it. Yeah.